Okay, everyone. Hello. Welcome to installment 2 on this series of videos about masking and parental responsibility in response to, in using the case study of a video that Naana Donkor Arthur had made. Just as I was expecting, there's quite a lot of responses and a lot of interest and a lot of questions. So let's start this from this beginning again. Let me remind you, just in case you've not seen the first video. I'm not rebutting this. I'm not giving parental advice to Naana. I am not commenting on Naana's parenting. I am just using the story she put out about her twins as a case study for those of you who need to pay mind to some of these phenomena. Yeah? You are the target, not Naana. So I'm not advising Naana. I'm not rebutting. I am not anything to do with Naana. It's for you. So let's dwell on that which is important. So, in the video I shared, there are some things that in the comments you can see have been misconstrued. So let's address that. We are discussing real life situations. We are not joking here. And parenting is something that is quite scary if you think of the responsibility that resides on parents to get things right for their kids. In this life, whether you like it or not, you can argue with the transformer in your local area. There are some things that you need a basic of in order to thrive. And one of those things is education. You need some skills, even if you decide to go and do TVET. You need some skills, even if you decide to run your own business. You need a certain level of cognitive activation to be able to do well and to thrive. There is no running away from it. When you have certain deficits in your understanding, when you have certain deficits in your capacities, it will certainly come and bite you in the bottom later on in life. And it is a parent's responsibility to make sure that you reduce the likelihood of this to the barest minimum. Okay? So, those of you who were in that video, and is everybody who needs academic? Nobody was asking the child to be professor. But you've got to be able to read and write to a certain extent. You've got to be able to add and subtract to a certain extent. You need some cognitive activation, that's for sure. And the child who is busy masking, the purpose of education is not clearly understood by a lot of people. And when you read these comments, you know. We are not doing math for the sake of math. We are doing math for cognitive activation. We are not doing English for the sake of English. We are doing English for the sake of linguistic prowess. Yeah? We are using English as a communication tool to hone your communication skills. There are certain dispositions that you need for life, whatever you choose to do. And that's the thing a lot of people don't understand. It is academics for the development of dispositions. If you understand the core fundamentals of education, this is one of the things that we will need to work on to understand. So as I was saying, Penny picking her book to read is developing literacy skills, whilst her sister is busy cleaning the garlic. And yes, Penny herself should be encouraged to get some of those skills in cleaning garlic too. Just as Kakra should be encouraged to also go and do some linguistic development too, to do some mathematic prowess development too, to activate herself cognitively too. And yes, there is balance. And you know, as I was saying, there are some things that are not even that important in the grand scheme of things. My mother's mother spent ages teaching me how to grind pepper on the stone, because to her, that was a very important skill. What am I using that for right now in my life when the blender and different forms of blender exist now? The time invested in that skill development was a waste of my time, really, if you think about it in one way. It was something that taught me the importance of house chores, which was very nice. But again, right now, what is important is for me to be able to position myself well. I can actually get house staff to do some of those things. So it's a case of balance. It is a case of balance. You have to understand how life works generally. And you need to understand the best way to position. And as I was saying to somebody around this video, it is better to have capacities you don't need, like my ability to grind on a stone. It is a capacity that I have and don't need. And right now, I have the luxury of talking nonsense about not needing it. It is much better that way, to have capacities you don't need, than to need capacities you don't have. That one is a painful existence. When you need capacities you lack, you do not have. And that's the principle for raising children, really. That's one of the core guiding principles, is to diversify your children's capacities and dispositions, to widen their horizon, because one of the truths of the life we are living, especially going forward, is this: none of the things that used to be law is law anymore. The paradigms are shifting and changing so fast. The things that were guaranteeing success 20 years ago are not guaranteeing success. What does that mean? That everybody has to be versatile and everybody has to be well placed to respond to various changes. Think about it for 1 second. The children we are raising will face challenges we ourselves have never faced before. They will be expected to be adaptable in ways that we have not even comprehended and imagined yet. And so it is our responsibility to make sure that those children are diverse. They have got so many capacities, they have got so many dispositions, and they can use these and respond to change as frequently as they need to. And so, no, you cannot afford to let children mask academic difficulties, because they will end up with deficits in academic prowess. They would. It is better for them to have qualifications they don't need. It is better for them to have skills they don't need. Well, they might not need it today. They may need it 20 years from now. When I graduated, the things that I thought were going to be my survival tools, it makes me laugh. Even when I started teaching, the career I thought I was building and the life I thought that career was about to give me, especially when I came to the Middle East to come and teach, where the salaries are good and the zazaza are good. Yes, even here, to be able to thrive and to not just exist and to just function at the bottom end, to dare to dream, to have some of the better things, is requiring a lot of things. One of the things that has been my cornerstone of survival is versatility. And I'm sure when my mom was trying to establish versatility for me, a lot of people had silly comments, well, certainly to my hearing. What does she need this for? What is all this public speaking for? If you knew what public speaking is now doing for my life. Entrepreneurial skills. My mom used to run a business, and my mom would leave the business for me and would travel. She was teaching me hardcore responsibilities. At the time, people had a lot of comments to make about it. But that's part of the reasons why I am surviving. That's part of the reasons why I haven't broken. And every parent's responsibility is to create that diversity for every child, and not to allow some children's choices to be maleficent to their future. That's the conversation we are having here. So the kid who doesn't want to learn how to peel garlic should be encouraged to learn how to peel garlic, because there may come a time where she cannot afford to have garlic peelers. We live in a household, we have chores. Everybody must do some of those chores, because in households there are chores. Learning how to do chores is teaching you discipline. And discipline is a cornerstone for life. Showing up and not being lazy and not pulling a punch is a skill everybody needs, and every child needs the opportunity to be able to learn it. But no one kid should be allowed to sacrifice themselves to do that for everybody, whilst everybody else is getting on with other skill development that this child will not have time to develop. There's 24 hours in a day. No running away from that one. 24 hours in a day. And in those 24 hours, we have a lot of things to do. And so the masking conversation really is about the parent and your responsibility towards your children. If you leave children alone, they will go for convenience. Who doesn't like convenience, especially young people? They don't even know the life that is to come. They don't understand the things they will have to address. They are children, innocent. But you cannot shirk your responsibility so that in this ignorance or innocence of the kid, they do harm to their future and their survival. That's the real conversation we are having here. So video 2. I was just on the video reading some of the comments, and I felt that some of these baselines needed to be set in going forward. Let me get back on the video. Let me get back on some of the comments. You can find the comments yourself and you would know what I'm responding to. Let me go and do the newest one. Yeah. Okay, some of you are requesting books. I will have a look and see what writers I'll be able to suggest. All right. Okay, so this sister says that she's a girls' education officer in a municipality and a proprietress. She's inspired by the way I had analyzed the issues. It's changed her view on many issues. It makes some of you see you as odd, but by the close of the day, people are being transformed. And this is the very reason why I'm having these conversations. Okay, I'm not looking to put sand in anybody's tea. I'm not looking to judge anybody. I am not belittling anybody. As I said in my original video, the target audience for these videos are you who watch me. I don't think Nana has time to come sit here and watch it herself. And in fact, for Nana herself, the kids maybe 15, 16 now. You know, the die is already cast. So advising Nana with children that age probably is pointless. You just make a person feel bad for no reason. This really is targeting those of you who haven't had kids or those who have very young kids, so that you who are able to make choices that could put things in the right path, do so. As I always say, my videos are idealistic in the hope that I have for them. For some people, it's too late. For some people, it is the right time. Those are the people I am targeting. What of the child who has other interests apart from classroom learning? As I said, there are some bottom lines, whether you have an interest or not, you need to consider. And that brings me to another thing. This whole thing of interest is a joke when you think about life in particular ways. Life itself is unforgiving. I enjoy scrubbing my bathroom a lot, especially when I'm sitting on my toilet daydreaming. It is where my passion is, sitting in my toilet daydreaming. Is that going to feed me? No. The truth of the matter is, where I actually earn my salary at the moment is one of the places I do not want to be right now. But the bottom line is I've got to go to keep my body and soul together. That's the bottom line. And this whole notion of only doing things that are of interest to you. Let's just focus on the kid and what they like. Sometimes what you like will not get you survival. We will have to hit that nail on the head also. So yeah, your kid is not enjoying learning literacy, but they need literacy. So you make sure that they've got at least the core skills. They don't like math. They prefer painting. Very nice. If you are going to help this kid make an artist of himself, this kid still needs some financial literacy, which is taught in mathematics. They need to know how much they are going to sell their paintings, and they need how they are going to manage their earnings from the paintings. There are certain skills that you can't run away from. It's not everybody who wants to be a professor. Nobody needs you to be a professor. But even as a mechanic, there are some skills you need. Even as a housewife, there are some skills you need. Even as a kept woman, there are some skills you need. It is based off on years of this knowledge that the fundamental education was actually set. Some people dismiss ages-old things as if So yeah, people have different interests, but sometimes what you are interested in has nothing to do with what will help you survive. And it is maleficent, actually, to lie to people and tell them that we do what you like, we do what you want. You select courses, and at some point, to progress with some courses, the only option is witchcraft. I meet a lot of people, maybe late teens, who are now looking to go to university when their courses cannot get them anywhere. Or some don't even choose to go these ways, but later on, we are back down to salaries that cannot get you anywhere. See, I like discussing these things from the hardcore fundamentals, which nobody likes discussing, because we need to go there. This is video 2. I've told myself none of these videos is going to be more than 15 minutes. We are at 14:42, so we're going to stop here, and we will reconvene very soon in response to this one.